Welcome to Loving Life Creatively with Lizzie Menz, the show that dives into the heart of our community's incredible talent. Join us as we explore the world of creativity through inspiring interviews with local artists, live demonstrations, and the countless benefits of creating. Every episode will explore our guests' inspiring stories, celebrate their unique voices and visions, plus showcase their amazing creations. Host Lizzie Menz, and I am thrilled to take you on this incredible journey through the world of local artists, musicians, woodworkers, and all kinds of creative souls. Today, we are exploring the magical world of nature, photography, and music. I am extremely excited to introduce my amazing sister, Barbara Stephan, sprite photographer, amazing and well-known singer, songwriter, keyboard player, and teacher. What don't you not do? Welcome, my wonderful sister, Barbara, and thank you so much for being here today. I'm super excited for you to share all the amazing things that you do. So
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
I've been really looking forward to this.
Yay.
So
Yes, me too. Me too.
So let's talk.
The sisters unite.
I know, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with just a few little questions,
Sure.
and we'll get the ball rolling.
Okay.
Okay,
Sounds
all
good.
right.
Sounds
So
good.
please share with us a bit about your background and what kicked off this creative career that you have in music and photography, both.
Okay. All right. Well, I think, in the very, very beginning, what I was thinking about last night, I was thinking about songs that you and I used to sing together. And I think about just the joy of being raised in a musical household, and our parents were always playing music. Dad played guitar, so my earliest memories are singing with you. Really, that's my first memory. And then of course singing in Afton Church, and then singing with Dad and having him teach me all of these wonderful songs. And yeah, just the very foundation of everything is just really singing at the kitchen table with Dad, singing with you. That was just what kind of sparked it all. And then of course I started to get a little bit older and then realized that people were saying to me you can actually, you can sing, do you want to be in the church choir? Do you want to be in the adult choir? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? So that was kind of how that all started with that. And interestingly, I do remember, I remember really enjoying painting. I enjoyed, I had my little brownie camera. I enjoyed photography. And, Dad said something really interesting to me not too long ago. He said that you and I both were extremely creative when we were little until we went to school. I'm not dissing school. I'm not saying anything about art classes, but, it was almost once we were told what the rules were, our creativity just kind of started to wane. And I think both of you went through journeys where we did the school thing, and then we started to work in the workaday world, and then that creativity just kind of went away. So so to get back to these basics and back to these foundations, like I've seen you do, and then to get back into this photography, it's just revisiting this childhood kind of excitement and awe with the world. So that's kind of how it all started.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree. On all counts, everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what inspires you most in your work?
So the very first thing that inspires me the most is people. So my job as a singer is to create an environment for people's events, for people's galas, for people, or just, people out having fun with their friends or whatever. We create a very specific kind of atmosphere, which is basically just bringing the fun, bringing the party. So so the people that I connect with, for the events and venues and things like that. And then of course in my lessons as a vocal coach, it's the people, vocal coach. It's the people, it's the human connection, like that's the very first thing. And then with the photography, the patterns that I see in nature that are just naturally produced they're so stunning. They're so beautiful. There's just everything in the natural world is just, even looking at like insects under a microscope, it's just stunning what nature has been able to do. So when I first started to see these patterns of faces in just like marble or tree bark, things like that, it was just so stunning. So yeah, the connection with people and connection with nature, those are definitely my two biggest inspirations.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, Dad saying to us that he couldn't stand it when they were up on the bandstand and nobody was dancing, nobody was clapping, there wasn't that interaction.
Right.
And then fast forward when I get to see you on the stage and you are engaging everybody out in the crowd and all that, and then people are dancing. I always remember that. I remember Dad saying that, and then getting to see you. It's quite cool.
Yeah,
very much
cool.
so.
It is cool.
And one of the things too about seeing faces, once you see them, you can't not.
Right.
Everywhere I go now, bathroom floors.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Oh, goody.
yeah. The walls, whatever.
That's
I see
amazing.
faces. So
okay.
yeah,
That's
it is.
amazing.
That's
I love
an
that.
inspiration as well.
I love it.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you tell us about a particular project that you're really proud of?
Sure. Well, the albums that I've put out, I'm proud of them all. The very last one that I did called Come On Over to Me, I'm really, really proud of that one. So I love that album. And then, creating these photographs, finding the faces, taking the pictures, creating my Etsy page and my Nature Sprites design website. That's also been really, really awesome. So these are projects that I'm really, really proud of. So
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. And way cool.
Yeah.
Very, very way cool.
yeah.
What challenges have you faced in your creative journey and how did you overcome them?
Okay. Well, so I love they told me not to squeak the chair. That's okay. So I used to be terrified of an audience. I mean, absolutely terrified. I would stand up there. I could sing in front of people, but to have that banter, it was so excruciatingly difficult. I used to stand paralyzed with sheets of paper on my music stand, back when we used music stands, with little things to say to a crowd because I had no idea what to say. And this really, really bothered me because I knew that this was one area that I needed to figure it out. If I really wanted to be the front person that I knew I wanted to be, that was the last piece of the puzzle for me. So I started to think, and there was no front person school, there was no MC school, there was no classes I could go take, how to front a band, how to talk to an audience. So I started to think, okay, how can I think a little bit more creatively? How can I maybe doing something completely unrelated would actually spark this part of me where I could learn to trust myself, to actually, start talking to people in an audience. So I was working for the symphony at the time, and I was going through the break room, and there was an advertisement for comedy improv comedy classes at Comedy Sports in Milwaukee. And I thought, God, I wonder if I took comedy improv classes, because I thought about taking acting classes, but then you still have a script, so what's the point? So yeah, I took the first 101 Comedy Sports comedy improv class. I've never been so terrified and laughed so hard in my life. It was terrifying. But little by little, I started to trust myself, and it was my thinking mind that was in the way. It was what am I going to say? It was I didn't trust myself enough that whatever came out of my mouth was going to be okay. So when you have to have an answer right now, and you start to trust yourself, and then I would start to say things, and people would laugh, and I'm like, oh, maybe I can do this. Maybe
this is okay.
Maybe I'm not the only one in the world who thinks I'm funny, So I did the first 101, I think it was 8 weeks, and then we did a performance for our friends and family, and then I signed up for 102 immediately. I did the next 8 weeks, did the performance, and then it didn't happen right away. And then I went to this, I had a regular gig at Chintani's on Water Street back in the day when that was still around. And I literally, 3 weeks after the second class ended, I walked in, I picked up the microphone, and my fear of an audience was over. I couldn't believe it. It was just like, hey everybody, how's it going? And since that day, from that night, I had no fear of an audience. And then I just started to talk to people like they were in my living room.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I had to do something seemingly completely unrelated to get through that block that I had, that mental block.
Yeah,
I'm going to look stupid. I'm going to say something dumb. I'm going to, whatever. So yeah.
Cool. Interesting.
Yeah,
Very
was a
interesting.
long journey.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So any of you out there, if you have this, take improv. Take that.
Seriously, improv classes.
Do the improv classes. Yeah. All right. So how do you stay motivated, inspired, and manage your time? We were just talking about this.
Right. So part of this actually dovetails into what I'm going to talk about, advice for creatives. So we were just talking earlier about the importance of staying away from the phone, staying away from the screens. So I bought myself a really beautiful, ornate hourglass, and it counts an hour's worth of time. So I will put my phone away. I've got all the notifications deactivated from my computer, like everything. And I will turn over my beautiful hourglass, and I will sit and focus on the one thing that I'm focusing on. And that's, like, I hate to say it, but that's even getting more and more difficult to do. So I need to do this more often, where I just put my phone away, have all notifications silent, so I can sit and hone in, on just one thing. What keeps me inspired is, of course, listening to new artists, listening to new music. That really keeps me inspired. I have a friend of mine who just put out an album, and it's so good. And I'm like, okay, do I have another album in me? I think maybe I do, So other artists, for sure. And then, of course, nature is just always inspiring me as well. So finding the time is more difficult. But I tell my students all the time, because I realized one of my blocks was, I have to have an hour to do this. Like, I've got this hourglass, I have to have an hour. Or even I have to have 30 minutes. And I tell my students, I'm like, even if you have 5 minutes to do a lip trill, just do it. If you could do the tiniest amount in a given day. And we get so busy, we get a little bit older, and then we're in survival mode, right? It's like, I have to make the money, I have to pay the rent, I have to pay the car payment, this has to be paid for, that has to be paid for. So, but finding those small increments of time, it's just so vitally, vitally important to do that. If you can't do 15 minutes, do 5. If you can't do a half an hour, do 15. But even just the smallest increments of time to be creative will feed that inspiration, like a lot longer than I would have imagined, so.
Yeah. It almost just like you said, re-inspires you or gives you that energy to carry on to the next task that might be a little bit mundane.
Right.
But because of that creative spark, you're able to get through that.
Yep, exactly.
And and when you get on the other side, you think, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Right.
Got through that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please share with us, who are your biggest influencers, mentors? Yeah, just tell us, who do you look up to?
Okay. So my very first mentor, I want to talk about her, because she's like the reason why I started to do everything, besides Dad, of course.
Of course, yeah.
But when I was in junior high school, I had a choir teacher named Holly Stanfield at Edison Junior High School. And she was just the most vibrant, on fire, alive teacher that I'd ever seen in my life. And we were so lucky to have Holly Stanfield as our teacher at Edison. So I had her for 7th grade and 8th grade. And yeah, every time she came in the room, it was like people just responded to her, and she had this very theatrical, I don't care what you think kind of thing going on. And she was really the first person to pull the voice out of me that I really wanted to have. So yeah, she was my very first mentor. So I still think about her a lot. And yeah, just becoming an educator was also a dream come true, because I strive to be the way that, I remembered she
Holly
was.
doing
yeah.
it.
And I haven't seen her in like
Yes.
30 years. I hope she's doing well. I'm not sure what she's doing now, but
Yeah. Did she do the plays too? Is she the one that got
she
you
did the plays.
catapulted into that?
Yeah, so I did.
Yes.
She cast me as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz.
Yes. Yes. I remember.
Yeah, and we did Bye Bye Birdie with her. Then sadly, she left for my 9th grade year, which I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated. My heart was broken, But yeah, so she was my very first mentor. And now, I have to say it, I love Lady Gaga.
Oh, yeah.
I actually really do. And I don't say I actually really do. She's a controversial artist, but she genuinely just does seem to not care at all what anyone thinks.
She just be her.
About
that's it.
anything that she's doing, and her voice and her delivery and her style. She is so soulful, and she has so much control. And I love the music that she wrote for A Star Is Born. A lot of her earlier pop stuff, I don't know, it didn't speak to me as much, but she's written some incredibly soulful songs. And I've heard her do like little snippets of Led Zeppelin and Robert Plant kind of stuff, and it's amazing. So yeah, so she's inspiring. Alicia Keys is also really inspiring to me. Joss Stone is really inspiring to me. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I remember when we got to go see Prince and Alicia Keys.
Oh my gosh.
Remember? You took me there for my birthday.
Yeah.
It was the best day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prince
that was amazing.
he is the best live concert I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, you took me twice.
Uh-huh. I did.
And you're the only one. Well, Brian took me to the Prince, thing up in Minnesota, but yeah.
But we got to see
Got
him in person.
live,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was amazing.
Exactly. Yes. So what advice would you give to aspiring creatives, musicians, photographers in our world?
Yeah. So my first piece of advice would be to, it's good to have that dream. It's good to have that, this is where I want to be. This is the culmination of where I want to be as an artist. I want to have a show in New York, or I want to be famous, or I want to be on The Voice, or I want to be on American Idol. You know what? All of that stuff is American Idol even on? I don't even know.
I don't know either.
It's good to have those kinds of dreams.
America's Got Talent.
Yes, America's Got Talent. Yes. However, once you have that dream, make the journey the dream. Because it is in those everyday actions that to take the joy in on the steps to get to that goal, that is what is going to turn you into the person that you are eventually going to be able to appreciate that goal. But if you have a journey of, oh, I just can't wait to be famous. One of the worst answers I've ever heard in a voice coaching session is, I always ask people, what makes you want to take voice lessons? And I had this one girl say, because I want to be famous. And I thought, oh, you poor girl. Because if that's the kind of journey that you're on, and you're just looking at, I just want to be famous, and unless you have a joy-filled journey to get to being famous, once you get there, you're not going to have the fulfillment and appreciation for the journey. And, and whether you become famous or, like me, I almost had, when I was younger, I had this idea that I'm either famous or nothing. I'm either going to be Taylor Swift or I'm not going to do it at all. And that is such a wrong way to think about it, because making a living as a musician and an artist has been the most satisfying thing I could have possibly done. And I get to go into people's events, weddings, galas, private parties, festivals, whatever. I get to go in and elevate and make their event something so special and so memorable, and something that hopefully their guests will talk about, for months and months and months to come. And that is so fulfilling to me. And there is nothing that I would trade for this privilege that I get to have now of what I do now. And making a living at it. I'm not a household name. I'm not a Taylor Swift. I didn't do that, right? But my life is so filled with fulfillment and joy, and I work with some of the most amazingly talented people, as you know. So yeah, for my first piece of advice is to have your outcome and then forget about it, and make every day, every little thing that you do a part of this joyful journey, because that is at the end what's going to make up your life. Because when you do achieve that goal, what do you do after you achieve a goal? Well, that's good for like a couple of days, a couple of hours maybe, and then it's like, well, what?
Now what?
Now what?
Yeah.
Now what am I going to achieve? Because now I got to keep up with that thing. You know, Packers win the Super Bowl. Well, you better win it next year, and win it the next year. So yeah, it really is the journey. The journey is the goal. The journey is the dream at the end of the day.
That's very beautifully profound, and I love that
Yep.
vision for it. That's wonderful.
Yep. And then my second piece of advice is what I said earlier. Put your phones away.
Yeah.
Put your phones away. Put your screens away. Put all that stuff away. And I'm talking, you know, I have Sundays and Mondays now are my no social media, very little screen time days. And I will go for hours without looking into a screen. Your brain as a creative is better off staring at a wall with paint drying on it than looking at a screen. Because creativity requires boredom and meditation and doing nothing and beingness and not doingness, as you know.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Give yourself
Also
that time.
very profound. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And you just miss so much of the world.
You miss so much.
So much.
I tell the kids, I'm like, the world is not in here. This is not. This is not real. It's really like, wow. It freaks me out sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the world. You and I having this human connection. This is real. Like, this is the real world. This is not real.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Very profound. Yes. Up next, we'll talk about ways to embrace the beauty that's all around us, and stay tuned while my sister does an inspirational singing lesson with me.
Yay.
I have not sang with my sister in a very long time, so this is going to be fun. And also, we'll get a bit more in-depth look at your nature sprites as well, and so you can talk about that. Embracing the beauty around us. I don't know about you, but for me, in our fast-paced world, it is so easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life and our phones, right? I often find myself rushing from one task to the next, barely taking any moments to breathe. I truly have a squirrel on rollerblades mind, and there is a profound beauty in slowing down and truly paying attention to our surroundings. Mm-hmm. Taking a walk in nature can be a transformative experience. The sound of waves crashing against the coast, that's my favorite, chirping birds, and the gentle breeze can also serve as reminders of the simple joys that life has to offer. When we take the time to notice these details, we reconnect with the world around us and find a sense of peace and tranquility. Slowing down allows us to appreciate the little things that often go unnoticed, like nature sprites. The vibrant colors of our sunset, my favorite. The intricate patterns of our flowers. I love painting flowers. They're so intricate. On the soothing, or even the soothing sound of a flowing stream. How many of you do sit outside and listen to a flowing stream, or just when it's raining, right? It can all bring a sense of wonder and gratitude. By being present in the moment, in every moment, we can find joy in the everyday and cultivate a deeper connection with ourselves and our world. So please take a moment to step outside. Breathe in the fresh air. Take the 5 minutes, 10 minutes like my sister was talking about, and let the beauty of nature fill your senses. Embrace the stillness and allow yourself to be fully present. In doing so, you'll discover a renewed sense of energy, a whole new world of sprites, clarity, inspiration, and an appreciation for the world around you. So, coming up next, let's have Barbara teach me how to sing a few notes.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right, let's
All
do
right.
it.
Okay.
Well, everyone, join us as my sister teaches me how to sing, which I have to let you all know out there, this has never happened. You are witnessing, really seriously, the first time ever that she's teaching me. So play along.
All right, first voice lesson. Now, and I'm going to qualify that by saying I don't have to teach you how to sing because you know how to sing. I know my sister and I, we used to sing together nonstop when we were kids. So I know that you can sing, but this is just your first voice lesson, right? Right?
Okay, yes. Okay, fair enough.
But I thought, I was thinking about this last night, songs that we used to sing together. Oh my gosh, my parents had a super funny recording of us. We're little bitty and we're singing The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. It's really funny. We have to find that.
Didn't we sing that at church? Remember?
We sang it at church too.
We sang it at church.
They didn't
Yes.
mind. They didn't mind.
No.
We were so little. We were so cute. They were like, okay. Okay. So one of the songs that we used to sing as a duet was You Are My Sunshine. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So let's sing a little bit of that together, okay?
All right.
And what I want you to do, so I'm going to do it first, and then I'm going to let you sing, okay?
All right. Okay.
So I want you to pay really close attention in your body. Where are you feeling the most sensation when you sing? Where do you feel like you're breathing? What muscles are you using to sing? What's the sensation? How does it feel in your throat? Like anything that, and that might be a lot to think about, but anything that kind of stands out to you as we're singing.
Okay. All right.
So let's start with you are. Is this cool?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Here we go.
Okay.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Okay, so tell me what that experience was like for you.
I felt the reverberation or the vibration, I guess, in
Okay.
my, is that what it's called? The vibration in
Sure.
my throat.
Okay.
Breathing, I guess I wasn't really breathing. I was really following you.
Okay.
So I was.
You were
and
breathing. You
I
just
was
weren't
breathing.
paying attention,
True,
right?
True.
I
Very
wasn't
true, very
breathing.
true.
I was
wasn't
just.
breathing. No, nothing about that. No,
Right,
but
right.
I felt energy, light.
Yeah.
Felt very light.
Yeah.
Very light.
Well, that's
very,
'cause we're singing together,
Well, true.
too.
That's true. That's true. Bringing
It's 'cause
back
we were
all these
singing with your
memories.
sister.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
but I would say the vibration in my throat is
Okay.
probably what I most profound thing.
Okay. So I'm going to let you sing this now. Okay.
By myself,
Is that okay?
I guess.
Okay.
Sure.
All
okay.
right.
All
Are you
right.
sure?
I guess.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I
that's-
want to watch you, so that I can maybe pinpoint some other things for you.
Okay. All right.
About your singing.
Okay.
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 So.
All right.
You
Okay.
ready?
The same two or same.
Yeah. Same
yes.
thing. Unless
okay.
you want to bust out some Lady Gaga or something. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. No. Okay. All
Okay.
right. Okay. Here we go. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Ooh, that was good. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
Excellent.
I think I was a little higher than the. But
You were a
that's
little
right.
higher, but that's
yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
I mean, your voice has a little higher timbre,
Sure,
right?
sure.
So
Okay.
that's great.
Okay.
So now, were you paying attention to where you were breathing?
Stomach, in my stomach.
Excellent. Like what
Yes.
part of your stomach?
Like right here, like
Okay.
right smack in the middle.
That is fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay.
Okay.
So let's talk about expanding here, right?
Okay.
So what I see a lot of times in my studio, and you don't have this habit, so good for you, is people breathe like this, and their shoulders really come up, and their chest is like heaving. Okay. So your history as an athlete, that has helped you to kind of ground your breath more into this area. But did you know that you also want to be expanding out your sides and your back?
Okay.
So to take like a full breath in, because feel where your very last rib is here.
Yeah.
So
yes.
so if your lung goes all the way down here to your very last rib, if this area of your body isn't expanding when you breathe in, you're not actually getting all of the air into your lung that you could be getting. Okay?
Okay.
Plus, if you put your hands here, okay, everybody in the audience do this, put your hands
put your
here,
hands here.
and see as you're breathing in, really breathe into this area of your body and see if you can feel your ribs doing this.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yep.
Never thought of it that way.
So your
Yeah.
very last rib is what's called a floating rib. It's not attached to your rib cage like your other ribs are. It swings like this. We're not these stiff, static creatures, right? Our ribs don't do this, they do this. Our jaw doesn't do this, it does this. So we have all these swinging motions, right?
Okay,
So we want to
okay.
have this image of ourselves as being very flexible creatures, basically.
Floaty.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yes, yes,
So,
okay.
so expanding out your sides here, and then put your hands on your back and see if you can expand your back when you're singing as well.
Oh, okay. Kind of like scuba diving. That's how I feel when I'm scuba diving.
Scuba diving, oh my
Yes,
gosh. Okay,
yes.
so that would be the breath training.
Yes.
Then that's perfect.
Yes,
Okay,
okay.
scuba divers, if you want to learn breathing for singing, scuba diving
Yeah,
would be
even
great.
snorkeling, all of that.
Yep,
Yeah, yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Okay, so these muscles, and the voice loves efficiency. The voice loves effortlessness, okay? So the breathing for singing and the singing itself has to be as effortless as possible.
Okay,
Okay?
all right.
So when you go to sleep at night and your autonomic nervous system takes over, it literally just expands out these muscles just let go.
Sure.
So it's an allowing. Breathing is an allowing, right? Okay. So these muscles that you allow and expand, that creates the vacuum that has air just kind of pull into your body effortlessly, these muscles will be your very best friends as a singer. Because these are the muscles that you lightly engage, not kind of engage, but lightly engage to support your voice. It's supporting the air. It's not, you don't ever want to like push the air out and
Okay.
push your voice
Okay.
in any way, which was my worst habit actually before I was trained. My voice teacher took one look at me and she was like, oh God, oh no, 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 no. We have to like redo all of this. So we're going to do a really important vocal exercise.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So I want you to
Okay.
put a hand here and a hand here,
Okay.
and I want you to do this. Good.
Oh, I feel it.
Okay. Good. Now, you feel these muscles jumping, right?
yeah.
Okay. Do you feel any sensation here?
A little bit, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do it again. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
So is the sensation more or less than when you were singing?
Less.
Less. Exactly.
Yeah, not so much of vibration. Like,
Correct.
Yeah.
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 Because what you're actually feeling, if you're feeling like vibration here, you might be feeling laryngeal grabbing. So when laryngeal muscles kind of decide that they're going to be involved in vocal function, that's when you can start to feel strain. You know how you go up to higher notes and you feel like you're gonna, like you're
yeah.
gonna crawl up to that note?
Yep.
That's your laryngeal muscles actually grabbing to try to squeeze your vocal cords together. Your vocal cords don't need any extraneous help from your outer laryngeal muscles. And we can get into that later, but there's constrictor muscles and anti-constrictor muscles and all of that kind of thing that are going on in here.
Okay.
So what you want to do as a singer is to make sure that you are as least constrictive as possible in here.
Okay.
That's why
Yeah.
when you go, ruff, 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 it puts whatever vibration, the vibration that you're feeling, and especially as a contemporary singer, should be more up in this area. And you kind of want to just forget about anything from here down. It's like your voice is being supported from your foundation here, okay? Comes up through here, and then it's literally, this is your amplifier as a singer, your skull.
Okay.
The shape of
Okay.
your skull is going to determine, to a large extent, the sound of your voice. That's why different ethnicities' voices sound so different. Skull
Really?
shape is a big deal.
Huh.
So when you're singing, you want to make sure that you are using your resonating cavity as much as possible.
Sure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to give you one exercise that you can do.
Okay.
And it's kind of a silly one. Do you know what a lip trill is?
No,
Or
I've
lip
seen
roll?
you do it, but
Okay, okay.
But no.
So for everyone out there who wants to do this along with us, you want to squish up your face like this.
Okay.
Go ahead, do it.
Squish
Squish
up
up your
my face.
face. Because you don't, when you're doing a lip trill, you don't want any tension in your face or your jaw or your lips or anything like that.
Okay.
And just make sound on a lip trill like this. We're going to look really silly right now. Good. Good. Now, doesn't that feel easy?
Yeah.
When you do that? Yes. So that ease of a lip trill, that's how it should always feel when you're singing.
Okay.
That's why the lip trill is one of the best exercises you can possibly do to warm up your voice. It starts to kind of send the message to your laryngeal muscles. You don't have to tense. You don't have to grab. You don't have to like do anything. So make a sound like you're lifting something heavy, like huh. Okay, do you feel that grabbing here?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't ever want that grabbing sensation
Okay.
when you are singing.
Okay.
Or speaking.
Okay.
For that matter.
Or even speaking. Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So do you want to try You Are My Sunshine again?
Sure.
Should we sing it together?
Yeah. Yes.
Let's do some harmonies.
Okay. All right.
So you do the melody and I'll do the harmony.
Okay. All
Ready?
right. Okay. All right.
Okay.
And we can start lower. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm of course okay with
Okay.
that too. So okay.
All right. I'll see if I can remember the harmony part.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Ready?
All right.
Here we go.
I'm ready. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Well, now Please don't take my sunshine away. Okay, now this is what most singers do. She just came into my house,
yes,
right?
right.
You were like,
Sorry.
oh, she's singing the harmony, so now I'm going to sing
And
the
I
harmony.
couldn't hear my part anymore.
That's what a
Yeah.
lot of people do.
Yes,
So then
sure.
harmony singing is like another training.
Yes,
But
yes.
honey, there's nothing wrong with your voice.
No. Thank you.
I mean, you can sing.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Never felt that way. So
Yeah.
thank you. Thank
so
you for
do
that.
lip trills. Here's your homework. Do
Okay.
lip trills in the shower.
Okay.
Your vocal cords and your lungs love moist air. We would be very different singers if we lived in the tropics. Like
Oh,
we could
sure.
just sing all day. And
Sure.
Wisconsin is a little bit different.
Dry.
Yeah.
Yes, very dry.
So
Sure.
lip trill in the shower and just lip trill the melodies to your favorite songs.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay.
In the shower. And your voice will just kind of start to open up.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Should we do it one more time and I won't watch you? Maybe I'll be able to hear and we'll try it one more time.
Okay.
You want to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna
How
stick with the
about all
melody?
of you out there? You're gonna sing along with us?
All right.
You need to sing along with us.
All right, you're gonna stick
If
with
you
the
want.
melody.
I'm gonna try.
Stay in your
I'm
house.
gonna try.
Stay in
I'm
your
gonna stay
lane.
in my house.
You're
I'm not gonna
driving your
look at
car
you.
and you're
I'm
in
not
your
gonna-
lane.
Okay. Staying in my lane.
Ready?
Okay.
Here we go.
Yes. Ready.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Okay, so you got a little bit further there.
I did.
You did.
I did.
You did.
I did.
Yeah.
We did this on the stage in grade school, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yes,
I
we
thought
did.
so. At Rock
Yeah.
Elementary School.
We did it at Rock School. We did it
outside
at
Acton.
church.
Yes.
Did it at
and
home.
just so y'all know out there, in our world, I turned white as a ghost,
She did.
white as my dress.
She did.
And I really honestly thought I was going to throw up on
Yeah.
stage. So
I thought she was gonna die.
for me to do this with my sister today, I can't tell you
Yes.
how awesomely amazing this is.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you.
having
Thank
me.
you. You're very welcome. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing. I hope all of
Absolutely.
you sing along.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Thanks you. Thanks. Welcome back, everyone. Let's take this wonderful adventure with my sister and find out a little bit more about how she finds, first of all, these creative sprites and what her creative process is and how she makes these beautiful prints that she puts together. So let's dive into that.
Okay, so so the picture right to the right of Lizzie here, she is one of my very first creations. I found
She is the
her.
first one?
She is
Yeah.
one of my very first ones. Yeah. So I went into the woods and there was, people don't realize like the root systems of pine trees that are above the ground, like just after a rain. They're very, very colorful. I mean, I do some brightening of everything here, but they can be very colorful. So I am literally, I mean, I must look like a crazy person. I'm just down on my knees. You know, I'm looking at these patterns in these root systems, and I've got my little camera, and I've got my little tripod, and these faces, a lot of them that I find, like they're this big. They are very, very tiny.
Oh, really?
So
Was
a lot
this
of
one
times,
tiny?
she was very tiny as
Yeah.
well. She might have been about maybe that big. So sometimes I have trouble like blowing them up. But yeah, she was like this big. But I was actually taking a picture of something else. And then she was a really happy accident. And I actually have my wood elf is on my site, and he is extraordinary as well.
Oh, yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she was right next to him. And I couldn't believe it when I saw her, because when I'm looking at her, I see the blue eye, I see the nose, and and her mouth, of course. And then I see this like fairy with a dress on underneath her lip over here, and with her like legs kind of coming out. And I see, like, I'm looking at it and I see so many other faces inside the actual, larger face. So it takes me, okay, and then the one underneath here, I found her in kind of the same place as her, and the colors are a little bit different because they were actually on different ends of the bathroom, but I used to have, remember my bathroom with all the marble in it?
Oh, yes. Yes,
okay.
I do. Yes.
So all this marble tiling. She came from this marble tile, and I mean, I couldn't believe it when I saw her. Again, just the detail of her eye and the nose and the mouth and the chin. And then I was like, is that a headdress? Or is that her brain? Like, I can't tell. It was just so
prominent,
freaky and alien, like Anunnaki-ish, right? Yeah. And then I found her in the same marble tiling of my bathroom, and the shading is so much different because it was just kind of at a different lighting angle. But I really liked the kind of burnt sienna of her, but her headdress, like it just looks like flowers are like popping out of her headdress, and then it looks like she's got this like flowing kind of dress on, and her face is almost like cat-like, right? So yeah, when I'm seeing this and when I'm finding them, a lot of times I'm taking a picture of something else, like I'm seeing a different face, and then sometimes I'll put them into Photoshop and I blow it up, and that other face is actually not as prominent as I thought it was, but now here is something extraordinary. And I've also, do you remember the picture that I had on the water droplet?
Yes.
So one of the most detailed faces that I have, which I still have to print her out and frame her. I was brushing my teeth one day, and I'm just kind of looking around. Again, good not to have the phone, right? And I see what looks to me to be a face that has been dried right on top of my water faucet inside this water droplet. So I start taking all of these pictures and I put it into Photoshop, and it is this amazing profile of this. To me, it looks like she's a woman. I see an earring. I see almost a turban type head dressing on. So yeah, it can be literally, of course, then there are days, and all artists know this, there are days that I could go out and take 500 pictures and not find one face. Yes. And then there are days I go out and I take, 50 pictures, and there's like 5 of them, so it can be hit or miss for sure. There's one that I found just on these patterns in the floor at Neshota Park in the concrete. And, just patterns of the concrete being worn, of people walking all over it for years and years and years. And I found that minstrel face in there. So yeah, it can be a very lengthy process, but it's been worth it for sure.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much for sharing. Awesome. That's really awesome. I bet all of you out there that are watching this episode will never look at a tree or the floor or a marble floor or anything else ever the same again. I bet you're going to all be looking for faces as well. I hope so too.
Plus, it's a great meditative exercise.
It is. And it brings out your little kid in you.
Absolutely.
Find your little kid.